7 foods to stay away from as soon as possible. The primary reality is that Americans consume way too much food and exercise far too little. And the calories we consume aren't usually coming from nutritious, low-calorie, high-fiber foods like fruits and vegetables or whole grains or lean meat and low-fat dairy products. Instead, we gorge ourselves on artery-clogging meals like squirting processed cheese from a can, frosted pastries stuffed with sweet jam, snack packs of cookies or crackers, and pretty much anything deep-fried. It's no secret that many meals have been presented as healthy when they are, in fact, unhealthy. Making good food choices for you and your family may be complicated, especially with so much misunderstanding about food and how it affects human health. However, there are a few foods that you should avoid in almost every case since they provide no health benefits while posing numerous health risks. Companies may use the terms sugar-free and all-natural on their labels, but this does not guarantee that the food is healthful to consume. The problem with most food is that it is sold so that it is persuasive to the majority of people. If you care about your long-term health, these are 7 foods you should never eat. Now, let's analyze the 7 list of unhealthy foods. Hello dear viewers. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to TKI, theknowledgeinsights.com, being part of your fine lifestyle. Before we start, click the subscribe button below, also the bell icon, as we have more insights to share with you for your fine living. Now let's get started. Number 7. Margarine. What foods should I avoid? Margarine is mostly made up of vegetable oil. Depending on the brand, this vegetable oil might be soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, or several different vegetable oil derivatives. When you cook with margarine, fry it, or heat it in general, you increase the risks of oxidizing these highly sensitive fatty acids. Margarine, unhealthy meal, lacks these nutrients since it is manufactured from highly processed vegetable oils. Some margarine manufacturers are now supplementing their products with synthetic versions of vitamins like A and D. However, problems develop as a result of this change. Synthetic vitamin A has the potential to be harmful to the body. In terms of energy, butter and margarine are very similar, as are their levels of total fat. However, when the macronutrient differences are considered, it is clear that butter is a substantially more nutrient-dense food source, not to mention its fatty acid profile, which is far more stable than that of margarine. Even if you are not cooking with margarine, the damage may have already been done due to the heating treatment employed during the manufacturing process. Vegetable oils are high in omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids as well, PUFAs. A high intake of omega-6 fats has been linked to several disorders, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, cancer, IBS, and arthritis. Margarine includes trans fat, a kind of fat that is not found in nature. According to the United States Dietary Guidelines, Americans should consume as little trans fat as feasible. Why? According to Harvard School of Public Health experts, trans fat causes between 72,000 and 228,000 heart attacks every year, with over 50,000 of these being deadly. However, the notion that saturated fats are not harmful and, in fact, beneficial to our health is not frequently understood. Margarine manufacturers take advantage of society's lack of understanding on this topic and continue to market their low in saturated fat margarine products as healthy. The simplest option is to purchase butter prepared from grass-fed cows. Conjugated linoleic acid is a chemical found in this form of butter, CLA. This butter also includes saturated fat, which many people assume is bad for you but is good for you. Number 6. Microwaved popcorn. The microwave saves time and allows you to prepare a snack fast. When you feel the munchies, just microwave some popcorn, and your fluffy buds will be ready to eat in minutes. Popcorn is naturally high in fiber and low in fat. However, Some of the chemicals in instant microwave popcorn and its packaging have been linked to several serious health problems, including lung illness and cancer. In principle, microwave popcorn is no different from any other sort of popcorn. The major ingredient, butterfly corn kernels, stays unchanged. The only difference is that the kernels are popped by microwaving rather than popping. Popcorn is a surprisingly healthy and nutritionally beneficial snack in and of itself. After popping the kernel, you'll get a whole grain snack that's high in fiber, low in calories, and high in polyphenols, a plant-based antioxidant that promotes cell health. Perfluorooctanoic acid, PFOA, and perfluorooctane sulfonate are found in microwaved popcorn, PFOS. Both of these compounds are pollutants in blood and, when heated, leak into popcorn. These compounds pose several health risks, and infertility is the first danger. Researchers discovered that PFOA and PFOS raised the risk of infertility in a study published in Human Reproduction. PFOA has been associated with an increase of 60 to 150%. Increased LDL cholesterol levels are another risk. In truth, the problems with microwave popcorn are created by the added additives and chemicals in the paper bag, things that are bad for you, not by the popcorn or the microwave. Some have already been highlighted, and some are still in use today. According to a 2010 research published in the Archives of Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine, youth with greater PFOA levels had higher amounts of LDL cholesterol. In contrast, PFOS was related to a higher total cholesterol level. The FDA further warns that the chemical coating used in microwave popcorn bags, PFOA, has been designated a likely carcinogen by the Environmental Protection Agency. According to other research, an acid identified in this chemical can induce cancer in animals, raising the possibility that it may raise the risk of cancer in people. Another option is to use air-popped popcorn, which does not include any additives or artificial flavors in microwave popcorn packs. Use a stove or a hot air popper to make homemade popcorn. Drizzle your homemade popcorn with olive oil and sea salt, coconut oil, or red palm oil for a healthy and delightful treat. However, remember that the wrong flavor or ingredients can turn an otherwise low-calorie snack into a greasy, salty overload. Popcorn may be as nutritious or as harmful as you want it to be. According to studies, men who ate meals rich in perfluorinated compounds had lower sperm counts than those who ate none or less of the chemicals. Microwave popcorn has also been linked to lung disease and cancer due to diacetyl in some popcorn bags. Number 5. Soybean. Soybean is a well-known kind of legume. It is a staple of Asian cuisine and may be found in several processed foods. Soy protein is generated by removing the outer shell of soybeans and their fatty acids and may be used to substitute animal proteins in your diet. The number one issue with soybeans is that 90 to 95% of those farmed in the United States are genetically altered to produce soy protein isolate. They are bred to survive additional fatal pesticide dosages. Soybeans' biggest issue is their isoflavone content. Soybeans are phytoestrogen, isoflavone, reservoirs structurally and functionally identical to your body's estrogen hormone. 3. Isoflavones are phytoestrogens found in soy and soy products, also known as soy proteins. When you consume soybeans, soy protein, in any form, soy isoflavones, phytoestrogens, bind to estrogen receptors in your body. These phytoestrogens compete for receptor binding with natural estrogen. As a result, the estrogenic or anti-estrogenic effect is minor. Soy isoflavones, in other words, may diminish the efficiency of your body's natural estrogen. That being said, the only soy that has health advantages is organic. Organic soy is fermented properly and is the only soy product that is recommended. According to Mercola, the fermentation process decreases phytate and antinutrient levels. Do you consume any of the foods described above? Please share your thoughts in the comments area below. We'd like to hear what you have to say. Number 4. Canned tomatoes. Unhealthiest food. The pros and drawbacks of fresh versus frozen versus canned tomato products do not follow the conventional trends. Because of the huge amounts of sodium, salt, added by most brands, jarred salsa, and canned spaghetti sauce are frequently less healthful than fresh versions. Vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients will all have the same nutritional value, and this is because all three have been cooked. Every can of canned tomato soup, juice, spaghetti sauce, salsa, and plain tomatoes has been cooked. As part of the canning and jarring process, the containers are heated after being sealed to eradicate pathogens within. Temperatures of at least 145 F, 63 C, are required for pasteurization. According to Consumer Reports tests, only a few servings of canned food can surpass the daily BPA exposure limit for youngsters. BPA compounds are linked to a wide range of health issues. These health problems include reproductive harm, increased risk of mental disabilities in babies, risk of miscarriage, hormonal disruption, increased risk of certain cancers and more. Before the canning process, foods like stewed tomatoes and marinara sauce were most likely made using pre-cooked components like tomato paste, roasted garlic, and the like. BPA, a harmful chemical found in canned foods, has been linked to reproductive abnormalities, an increased risk of breast and prostate cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and other health concerns. BPA is present in the majority of the plastics we use. According to a report performed by the Centers for Disease Control, BPA has been discovered in 93% of urine samples examined among 2,517 persons over the age of 6. Compared to other canned items, the acidity of canned tomatoes contributes to their elevated risk of BPA contamination. According to experts, canned tomatoes have a high acidity, which might allow BPA to attach to your meals. If you want to preserve tomatoes but don't have a dehydrator. Number 3. Salt. Our bodies need salt to live. But the table salt that is found in processed foods is not the same as the salt that our bodies need. While this may occur in the short term, consuming too many salty foods may cause you to drink less in the long run. What causes this to happen? According to one long-term sodium balance research published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation that followed male participants between 2009 and 2011, the more salt they ingested, the less water they drank. This was attributed to their bodies saving and creating more water. Processed salt is 98% sodium chloride. The other 2% is manufactured chemicals such as moisture and added iodine, which is harmful to the body, like ferrocyanide and aluminosilicate, which can also be found in processed salt. When you have too much salt in your bloodstream, as we all know, your body may end up retaining fluid if all of the sodium isn't expelled through your urine by your kidneys doing their job. That's when you'll notice the swelling in your fingers. Salt also affects water retention, leading your body to retain water and causing bloating. Furthermore, eating too much salt might cause a desire for even more salty, oily meals. This can lead to overeating, weight gain, and an unhealthy lifestyle. To reduce the chance of any of these health conditions, it is recommended to restrict the quantity of salt in your diet. The most serious of the salt-related disorders is hypertension. As a result of the surplus water, our bodies suffer an invasion of water inflow. This raises blood pressure and blood levels, resulting in a heart attack and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Based on the preceding, you may argue that, more than salt, the volume of consumption is the primary cause. Knowing how much salt to use in everyday cooking is essential for living a healthy life and may keep several diseases at bay while also keeping you in excellent shape. Number 2. Artificial sweeteners. Sugar alternatives are continually being introduced to the market. Make sure to do your research and determine whether fewer calories or more natural things are more important to you. Remember that artificial sweeteners are manufactured food, and their usage should be limited. It might be a valuable tool for individuals trying to lose weight since it can bridge sugar and no added sweeteners. According to a study published in Appetite, artificial sweeteners like aspartame can stimulate your appetite, promote fat storage and weight gain, and boost carbohydrate cravings. The findings also show that aspartame and saccharin promote more weight gain than sugar. Research published in Nature, an international magazine of science, discovered that artificial sweeteners promote glucose intolerance by modifying the gut flora, leading to diabetes. The truth is that several things in this world might endanger our health, including various meals. You never know what might raise your risk of illness or other health difficulties, from processed meats to artificial sweeteners. This is why it is critical to consume a nutrient-dense diet and minimize the number of bad items in your diet. However, there is no such thing as a free lunch, and artificial sweeteners can have negative side effects. For starters, many people loathe their overly sweet flavor or harsh, artificial aftertaste. Second, using sugar substitutes to make cookies or other baked goods almost always results in disappointment since real sugar is required for texture and browning. Third, while all artificial sweeteners have been approved for human use and are considered safe, some people are afraid they might be hazardous or cause cancer. I'm not too concerned about this one, and not because I feel our regulatory agencies do a wonderful job keeping us safe from potentially harmful goods. Although it is not advisable to exclude junk food from your diet, it is crucial to remember that these meals should be consumed in proportion. Despite this, many people have suffered adverse effects ranging from headaches to chronic tiredness. In these cases, when patients stop taking the sweeteners, the problems normally go away. So determining if artificial sweeteners are making you sick is a piece of cake. And if they are, the only answer is to quit using them. A nutrient-dense diet combined with a healthy lifestyle that includes exercise a few times per week can lead to a healthy life and reduce your chance of developing health problems while increasing overall physical and mental well-being. You don't have to give up all of your favorite meals. Be careful of what you eat, how often you consume it, and what other types of nutritious foods you incorporate into your diet. What are some more foods that you know aren't on this list that you believe people should never try? We'd want to know more. Number 1. Processed meat. By the time they get on our plates, the majority of the foods we consume have been prepared somehow, and one of the worst things to eat. The issue with processed food is not about canned tomatoes or canned tuna, which are treated to retain freshness and nutrients. Worry has been expressed more intensely in processed items, such as crackers, canned spaghetti sauces, and cake mixes. And we eat a lot of them. Ultra-processed foods are estimated to account for more than half of the calories in the average American diet. The percentage in Canada is substantially lower, at 48%. According to a 2011 assessment of over 7,000 clinical research on the relationship between diet and cancer, processed meats are unhealthy and should be avoided by everyone. The World Cancer Research Fund commissioned this report. Cook says that processed foods are often created using meat from animals grown in animal feeding farms. This implies they are given growth hormones and other medications. Colorectal cancer isn't the only type of cancer linked to processed meat intake. Consuming 50 g of processed beef per day increases the risk of prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer, and overall cancer mortality. Furthermore, a study of over 200,000 women revealed that eating roughly 20 grams of processed meat each day, less than half the size of a regular hot dog, increased the risk of breast cancer by 21%. A National Institutes of Health study of nearly 500,000 people found that those who ate the most processed beef had a higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. According to a study published in JAMA, in 2012, processed meat consumption was connected to 57,766 deaths from cardiometabolic diseases. He also mentions that the meats contain nitrite, which gives the food color and taste. Nitrite has the potential to be transformed in the body into nitrosamines, which are powerful cancer-causing compounds. Processed meat, believe it or not, has been related to heart disease and can include a variety of dangerous substances. If you're wondering what exactly constitutes processed meat, you might be shocked. Processed meat includes meat like bacon, ham, beef jerky, canned meat, sausages, hot dogs, corned beef, salted cured meat, and more. Processed meat has also been linked to various chronic ailments, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, bowel and stomach cancer, and high blood pressure. Although you are unlikely to get these diseases, you should nonetheless restrict your consumption of processed meats, since persons who consume processed meat are more likely to develop these diseases. Takeaway: as you noticed, hydrogenated vegetable oils, dairy and dairy products, processed meat, agave nectar, movie theater popcorn, processed vegetable oils, and soft beverages are among them. While certain foods might help your body repair and restore, others can promote disease or raise your chance of getting certain disorders, particularly chronic ones. These are the ones you should stay away from. Hope you enjoyed this video. Encourage us by hitting like, share, and subscribe to the theknowledgeinsights.com YouTube channel.